Kids, back to your regularly scheduled programming. So, we've got more seals that go behind the hub here, so all this crap has to come off to get to these little damn seals, which is irritating. So glad that's not a 46. They're almost as big, but they're still a hell of a lot lighter. Yeah, 46 still makes that look tiny. But I don't want to take all this off. Because then I gotta take all that off, and the bearings, and the other crap, and the brake rotor. What am I going to do with the brake rotor? Is it just going to float there? That's all solid. It's not even flexible line. It's all solid line. It's a terrible idea. I don't want to. Alright. So as much as most people hate trail gear, I'm not even going to say most people. I'm just going to say people that have a budget to afford much better parts hate trail gear. They do some pretty cool things. Like, for one, this socket is awesome, but it's overpriced, which is irritating. These are awesome. Instead of having that little two nuts that clamp to that little washer thing that you bend over and always comes loose or breaks or whatever, I hate those things. They have this. This is all chromoly. Well, the bolts aren't, which is crap, because that's the one part that you really need to be chromoly. Maybe just the nuts chromoly. I'm not even sure that's chromoly. That's probably steel too. Anyway, some part of that is chromoly. But you get your nut down exactly where you want it. It's like 35 foot-pounds or whatever. I can't remember. I usually just tighten the bejesus out of it, then I back it off, and then I tighten it at a reasonable tightness that's not gonna squish anything or overheat anything or be loose. But you can see how this works. This thing has all these little holes in it. You can see it almost matches with those there. That one doesn't match at all, but it has those that are all offset, so it different increments. It'll match up with different ones, which is perfect. And you just cinch these little screws down, just barely. You barely tighten them. They've got little lock washers on them, so they stay together really well. Just barely tighten those down, and that never frickin' moves. I have these on the front of my truck with 46s, and haven't moved. Had all kinds of problems before I put these on. Put these on with a new bearing, of course. I tried the other way with the new bearing, and it didn't help. It just came loose. But these stay tight. The 46s work everything else off there. These stay, which is nice. I don't want my tire flying off going down the road. One of those things that take out a car or a truck or a bus, pretty much anything that got in its way. So this is the bottom side of the spindle, or inside rather. I guess there's really not a top and bottom. Well, no, that's the top, that's the bottom. Anyway, this thing is the new outer seal holder, and it goes in there, but I gotta do a little bit of sanding first because it does not fit in there. I know it's got to get pressed, and I know pressed things are tight, but it's not going in. Like, there's no pressing that in there. I got to at least get a little lip started or something. There's like a little, you can feel a little burr on the edge of this, so maybe it is just that very edge right there's got a burr on it. Whatever it is, I got to make it fit in there. I press in there all nice, and then this will hold a seal, and then one seal goes way in that side by the diff, like right by the diff. You put it in that hole, not in there. And yeah, so I'm gonna sand this thing, scrape all that junk off, and I'll check back with you after that. Look at all that machining in there. It looks so strange.
Alright guys, so now that Brandon's got the diamond axle spindle seal holder pressed in, and he's got the spindle all crud dusted and cleaned up, now we're ready to use these diamond axle seals and put these in. These are way better than like a basic steel one. It's like a double walled seal. You work on these Toyotas with these diamonds, these are what you use. So we're going to go ahead and get this. We're going to use a little bit of Earl's assembly lube, so help this go in a little bit easier, and go ahead and get it installed. So now that we got that on there, Brandon's got to tighten it down. He just gave it a lot of torque, like 30 pounds. And then he's going to back it off a little bit and then tighten it down to like 6 to 12 pounds. We're just going to probably tighten it down to 12 pounds. And then we'll put our trail gear outer spindle nut holder piece on there. I don't know what you call it, but
That was pretty close, actually.
But it's way better than the old, you tighten the outer one down and bend those pieces. I mean, it's a lot easier just to do that, tighten them, those little Allens, and it's way better for rebuilding and taking it on and off and all apart and stuff. So, but all right, so we're going to get that torque down, and then we can slide our axle shaft in and go ahead and put our outer hub axle retainer on. Now that we got that bearing tightened all down, we tightened it down to 11 pounds. And the outer trail gear holder piece on there, I'm not sure what you call it, but it's way better than the basic old school 80s one. So we got that done. So now Brandon's ready to go ahead and pull the third member out of the bucket that we picked up the other day, or Brandon picked up the other day from Billy Bob's Off-Road. And we'll get our surface cleaned up where we put our RTV, and we're gonna go ahead and put our diamond axle inner axle seals in, our new ones, and then we'll RTV that up and stick the third member in. Alright guys, now that we got the third member put in, Brandon's going to clean the gasket surface for the diamond axle shaft hubs. He's going to clean that up real quick, and then he's going to use the crud duster on the diamond axle hubs, and then we'll silicone that gasket and go ahead and put those on next. Today at Cougar House Garage, guys, Brandon started working on reinstalling the rear third member. First, he got the rear diamond axle inner seals installed in there, and then he got the third member all cleaned up with some acetone, as well as the axle housing itself, got that cleaned up with some acetone. And then he put his Permatex RTV on there. They got that third member reinstalled and got all of its bolts cinched down real tight. We just did them man tight. We really didn't torque them to any spec. And then we got our diamond axle spindle seal holders that instead of that brass piece that would normally go in the back of your spindle and then your axle shaft goes through it, this is an aluminum piece that presses in there, and then it has another axle seal there. So you got your diamond axle inner axle seals, and then at the spindles you have another seal there. So you got 2 layers of protection, so 90 weight can't get out of the diff. So we got that installed, reinstalled the third member, reinstalled those spindles, and then got the diamond axle wheel hubs all put back on and reattached the wheels and filled up the diff. So now we're all set for that. It should be good, shouldn't leak, cross our fingers, hopefully it doesn't. But you know, I trust Billy Bob's Off-Road. I had them rebuild it, and I don't think we're gonna have any issues. So now we just gotta go take it for a drive on the weekend. Pretty successful day if you guys ask me at Cougar. So thanks for watching today, guys. Thanks for being here. Thanks for your constant support as usual. Thanks for liking and subscribing. Smash that like button to the new people. And if you guys want to see more of Cougar House Garage, check us out at cougarhousegarage.com. Check us out at Facebook.com/Cougar House Garage. And we are Cougar House Garage on Instagram. Follow us, and we'll see you guys in the next video.